But you had a little cunning technique I noticed over the years.
Mate, so did you. We all
No.
You went about your business in a different way than I did.
No.
Come on.
No. What I'm talking about here is you sitting at the front, right? Making sure that when the teacher's facing you, you're making notes. I'm not even sure what you were writing down, right? And then when teacher's back's turned, turning round and throwing rubber at me. So then I'm like all commotion. Teacher turns around and has a go at me.
Yeah.
So you had a very good strategy in school, I'd say. Hi everybody, welcome back to the Win or Learn show. Chris, I think we're up to episode 6 now. Yeah. Your hair, by the way, looking a bit bowly, looking quite fresh.
I wonder who did that.
I'll take the credit for that one.
Yeah, Jake Harris's barbers wouldn't recommend a little fusey job on top.
Yeah. Well, I won't do it next week.
No, I'm very grateful, bro. Thank you very much.
No problem at all.
Yeah, can't complain.
I'll add that to your rent bill.
4 figures now.
Right, mate. This week, we're to and fro about what to talk about. We've had mental health, we've had success, bit of adversity. We thought we'd roll back the years, back to 2004 to 2011, our time at secondary school.
Yep.
Now, looking back, mate, we've had some laughs there. Like, when I went to school, my parents always said, these will be the best years of your life. And obviously, when you're there in year 7, 8, you don't really pay any attention to it whatsoever. But looking back, some of the videos we've been watching on Facebook, reminiscing, laughing, we'll bring a couple of them up when we're speaking. But some great times, mate, in secondary school. Friendship made between me and you.
Really?
It's lasted.
Come on.
Looking now, we're getting to about 17 years. We've known each other now.
Yeah.
Long friendship. Prosperous, I'd say.
Been a beautiful one, I've got to say. Yeah.
But let's roll it back. 2004. Just young men, 11 years old, just past our 11 plus. How was you feeling going into school? Did you know a lot of people before you went, or was you sort of like on your own, not expecting much?
Yeah, I think I went in with about 2 or 3 people from my primary school, but I was very nervous because, I mean, even the uniform side of it, like blazer tie,
suit and tie.
Yeah, getting peanutted on the train. So that was a new concept. I think my primary school was just a polo and a jumper.
Same.
But yeah, no, so I obviously come down from Newcastle to primary school as well. So I was a little Geordie lad who became a southerner.
When did you come down?
When I was 5.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So went through primary school and then just me and a couple of lads passed the 11 plus, which by the way, don't know if I'd even pass that now. Hard.
Verbal, non-verbal. I don't even know. No chance.
11 plus in driving test would fail now, no doubt. But yeah, year 7 I guess it was. We went in for that induction day, didn't we? When you first meet people.
Yeah.
So first impressions.
I didn't even notice you, pal.
Cheers, mate.
I tell you, one of my most vivid memories on my first day was when we went into our form, and you sort of like got dissected off into your first like C7 was our form. And I always remember Sam Cooper being so loud in there, mate, and so like basically how he is today, but like mini. Do you know what I mean? And I always remember him and always thinking, this guy is so loud, man. But obviously just like became really good friends with him and stuff like that.
So I ended up getting the train with him. He's one of my best boys, both of our best mates now, but got the train with him for the whole time we were at secondary school. He got me in so much trouble. He was so sneaky and I always took the rap for it. Partly why I love him. But I remember that as well. He spotted someone in the form room and said, "You're funny, come and sit next to me." And my first impression of him was, I'm not going to say it.
This guy's loud.
Yeah, but what a lovely, he's a great lad. So,
no, he was at some of the centre of some of the biggest laughs we had like later years. Like when we get into like year 10 and 11 when it really started ramping up.
Yeah.
But on the education side of it, can you remember much from year 7 and 8, like the sort of the lessons you enjoyed and them things? I'm trying to think back, and I think because I didn't really think it was that important at the time, because obviously you're not doing tests, nothing really mattered, and so I don't really remember too much. The times I do remember, mate, were them like stars in your eyes events.
Yeah.
With the whole school going into the big hall and people nominate themselves to start singing.
Yeah.
In front of we went to an all-boys school, 1,000 lads sitting there, and people were getting up on stage singing like Gabriella.
Yeah, I remember was it Chris Carr did All the Small Things by Blink-182. That was a bit of a party starter. But I'd never have the bollocks to do that. I would never get on like in front of 1,000 lads. And
mate, I love a bit of karaoke now. Don't get me wrong, in the bar when I'm drunk and stuff. But 1,000 lads, and I mean like you probably got ripped for it afterwards.
Yeah.
You know, crucified when you're up there, but. Is what it is, like fair play to them people that did.
Yeah. You do need to level the karaoke, by the way. I'm just saying, you're not great. So
no, I'm not.
Especially after a few pints.
I'm not the best, but
you're not the worst.
I'm not the worst in the bar.
All right, I'll give you that. You're better than me.
Yeah. Not hard.
No, well, exactly. But the education piece. So sorry, it's little PJ. But yeah, so that struggle here.
No, mate. So let's talk about moving forward. So year 7 and 8, right? I don't remember much, but what I always thought was good was that you stayed with the same form through 7 to 11. So we were C. There was always that inter-form dynamic where you thought your form was better than, was it T, S, P, X, were there the other 4? So it wasn't really done in like levels of how good you were at a subject. From what I can remember, I don't think, maybe maths later on in the years, but staying with a whole class of 30 people for the whole year, growing up with the same people, getting your own group within that dynamic. Me and you obviously gravitated towards one another in the same group.
Fate.
Yeah. You know, I mean, just having a good time, and then even outside of that, playing football against, like we were talking about last week, against other people in your form for different teams, coming in, having that banter, and then obviously school football as well, which you were a massive part of. I wasn't so big a part of that. I'd started playing for the school in like 6th form. But growing up, you were in the school team. Was it from day dot?
Yeah, it was. I remember even on the induction day, they sort of heard who I was playing for, and then was straight in. But yeah, it was quite a mix and match. I mean, it was. I remember there was a couple of other lads that I played for academy at the time, and they didn't want to play for it. They just wanted to focus on what they were doing. But I mean, the biggest football memory for me was when we used to go out on the school fields at lunch, and it was muddy. And we used to be like slide tackling in a full uniform with a pair of studs on if you're in the middle of winter. And we used to go home like when the mud had dried up on our uniforms, be like, Mum, you need to wash that before tomorrow, so I'm going again.
Mad times Mum used to rip me for my trousers, mate, and shoes. And
remember when you used to stack it as well when it was muddy and people just used to like,
complete bundle.
Yeah, mate, they were great years. I think we were very lucky with the form we got, you know, not stuck with, but that's out of your hand. I mean, you're like putting a group of 30 boys for the next 5-6 years, and it's not within your control. And we were so lucky. We had a lot of big, you know, good characters in there. That, you know, if people ask you whether you were naughty at school, I'd say we had character, we had personality. Get caught out a few times, but that was part of growing up and learning. And
our form had the mix, I think.
Yeah.
It had the characters in terms of the ones that were prepared to, let's say, cause a bit of disruption, a bit of distraction. You know, then we had the others in the form actually who were super clever, mate. Like A stars, science, physics, chemistry, always getting those. And obviously, for me and you, probably. Mid-grade students? I don't know about you though, actually, because I've always had a problem with you with regards to grades, because you were always distracting me in class, always causing me issues in terms of like not getting my work done, stuff like that. But you always come out of an A, and it used to drive me mental. Like, how did you do it? But you had a little cunning technique I noticed over the years.
Mate, so did you. We all
No.
You went about your business in a different way than I did.
No.
Come on.
What I'm talking about here is you. Sitting at the front, right, making sure that when the teacher's facing you, you're making notes. I'm not even sure what you were writing down, right? And then when teachers' backs turned, turning round and throwing rubber at me. So then I'm like all commotion. Teacher turns round and has a go at me.
Yeah.
So you had a very good strategy in school, I'd say, in terms of
strategy, execution, and planning. No worries, lads.
Planning on the train before you came, and then just executing it to perfection.
It was like it was a camaraderie, but there was nothing better than stitching one of your pals up. And I think like from year 7 to 9, if we work our sort of way through that story, that's what it was all about.
Yeah.
We did our learning. Year 9 was when the exams got a bit more serious. I think they were SATs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That long ago, I can't even remember.
Well, year 10 was first year of GCSE, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that was when things started to get a little bit spicy for us.
Yeah, in theory, we should have knuckled down a bit more there.
Yeah.
And listen, when we're saying this, we're only talking about the good times we've had with our friends. And obviously, when you go to uni, when you go to school, big part is the education, learning new skills, coming out of it. But also a massive part, mate, is the social element.
Yeah.
Because it's friendships like these that last many years that you take through into the later life. You learn new skills like making new friends, hanging around in bigger groups, and all these things. So the education is very important. We'll probably touch on that less as the episode goes on because we had some good times in years 10 and 11 and things like that. But yeah, mate, just good times. Good times in 7, 8 and 9. But for me, like I said, it didn't matter in my head. Kind of, if you look, I was reading some of my school reports last week because me and the family were reminiscing. And some of my school reports, mate, were just like, if Jake applies himself, he will do very, very well, but he's just in a very distractive mood.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm just like, looking back, I could have done much better, I think. But listen,
the thing is, you can't learn. Like, I know that was really early for us, and we were trying to get good grades. But you can't teach life skills in school. You grow up through school, and you grow up through your first job as well. Really, that's not what today's about. But it's these little things that, as you're progressing, they mould you, and you are allowed to have a laugh and have a bit of character. As long as you don't. The teachers as well. Like, we had some amazing teachers where we were. That really I would say the more that they got involved, not with distracting and misbehaving, obviously, but like maybe bringing us out of our shell a little bit more. The more that they got out of us, and the more respected they probably were. I think you either then had to be just a doorbell.
It's the front door.
Yeah, a little outtake.
Right, mate. Sorry, you were talking about teachers there and influencing us in school.
Yeah, I mean, if we pick this one back up, so the teachers were either really strict, where you wouldn't dare cross them, and it was just a very boring lesson, and it was just textbooks. There was those that really got stuck in with us and just getting us out of our shells and allowing us to try and prosper and probably grow.
Yeah.
And then there was teachers that were sort of not pushovers, but they were a bit softer with us.
You knew you could take the mick.
Yeah, and there were some people that just went hell for leather on that.
Yeah.
And you could see their lives were very difficult.
Yeah. Feel bad sometimes when you look back, some of the teachers maybe because of some of the lessons you didn't have much interest in. Like for me, religious studies and that, never had much interest, so I would always take that as an opportunity to talk to my friends in the back of the class, mess about, turn someone's pencil case inside out, wherever it took. But looking back, that teacher's just doing his best, mate.
Yeah.
And obviously we're older, wiser, so we can reflect, but I think you're right, mate. And there was some teacher I had a really good relationship with. Yeah. Like I remember having a really good relationship with a French teacher. I was awful, but just got on.
Je m'appelle.
I was shocking, Ilya du Soleil, etc. But I was
dance a pissy.
I was awful. Yeah, and the thing is, she probably knew that. But I tried and stuff like that, and I think they respect you when you try and you're clearly putting in the effort, even if you can't grasp it. And so some teachers there, and there are other teachers like you said that. Very strict, and so the lesson becomes boring, and they don't really allow you to flourish in that respect. But good times. Year 10 though started ramping up.
This is when it got. Yeah, this is when the brotherhoods were really made for me, because there was people were coming out their shells more. We knew each other inside out. We spent every minute of every day together for 3 years already. We'd been away to I think we did Normandy, we did Year 9 camp, Norfolk as well. So, and also all of the little rivalries in between forms started to develop, and that's how we became closer. And those rivalries were good hard. There was nothing spiteful. There was no real real fighting where we went or nothing like that.
Which surprises me actually, because for an
Yeah.
all-boys school, other people always assume. I mean, the first thing people say is, "I can't believe you went to an all-boys school."
Mate, I honestly wouldn't have it any other way, and that might, but it all changed in sixth form when girls got introduced because the dynamics changed. But we were just like, I referenced brotherhood. That's what it was, because we were just out of our shells. We were having a laugh with each other. We were getting to know each other. It was like outstanding.
Yeah. Well, from when other people say, "I can't believe you went to an all-boys school," I always think I can't imagine what a mixed school's like, because I can imagine the competition for attention. I can imagine all them things. Whereas,
do you reckon you would have pulled a mixed school? Let's be honest.
Probably.
Because you did have those big pearly white teeth, didn't you? Like Donny from The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, but I didn't dribble as much as he did.
That's very true.
No, I don't know. I was
You did on the bus.
I was very shy.
Yeah.
Especially in them early years, mate, like years 7 to 10. I mean, all the boys used to get the bus into town because you all lived the other side. I used to live within walking distance to the school. So I never had that camaraderie after school where you all used to get the bus. And then when you get into town, the other girls from different schools, like neighbouring school stuff, are also getting the same bus for you to Borough Green. And so I remember early, you was like making quite a lot of friendships and relationships with girls from different schools. And I was sort of like not involved in that because I walked home and went a completely different way on my own, just from where I lived. But then as we started going to house parties,
at your gaff. I know your mum and dad are watching this, so we did have a couple there, by the way.
Yeah, they know that, and I was.
You moved out now, so
I was grounded for a long time for a couple of those. Bad, really, when you look back at it, because mum and dad don't deserve their house to be trashed.
You say that, you did it.
I know that, but I'm wider and older now.
More than one time.
No.
No,
I only had one unsolicited party. The others, mum knew about that, but.
Do you want to just go on about the new bus that I've thrown you under, by the way?
Yeah, cheers to that. Mum calling me up later.
Yeah, exactly.
What's this about parties 3, 4 and 5? No, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But no, I've had parties, but that's an opportunity again to meet new people in your year, in different... So I always missed out on that girl dynamic, but I don't care about that because, like you said, it's a brotherhood. I mean, I can't imagine not having the 30 people that we had in our form.
Yeah.
Even the people you didn't speak to, that much, they still played a huge part, and everyone had their own personalities and characters, mate. And I would not change it for the world. No. But going back to the fighting thing, for an all-boys school, you'd probably think, what, fight a day, 2 a day? There's 1,000 lads.
It's barely any. I mean, I think maybe see that 2 or 3. They were from people from different years.
Yeah, and also like 2 or 3 in like a term.
Yeah.
Not like regular stuff happening, and I don't know why that was. Maybe because there wasn't a competition over girls in there. I can imagine there probably would be more fights if that was the case. But
there was girl pressure, by the way. Like as we were growing up, it was. I remember my first kiss. I think it might have been year 9. I literally took a girl to the cinema and said, "Will you kiss me?" I was that nervous about it. Never looked back. but that's how wanted to get it under my belt kind of thing. Because we used to go to like the discos like Snap in leisure centre. Yeah. And that was just like literally like, will you dance with me? And then you'd be like, hands on the waist, and could you go around? It was like, yeah. Good
the
time.
Pressure's on.
Pressure was on. Then year 10 and 11 was so we started to go to like parties outside of school, obviously.
Yeah.
But mixing with more and more people, and that's when things started to we were trying to do our GCSEs at that age. And really having a good laugh. Like, I mean, some of the times... And also the technology side of it came into it. So our form room was on the top floor of the maths block, 3 floors up. And they just brought in those interactive whiteboards, hadn't they? Where they had the speakers on the side and just an auxiliary port. And obviously at lunch, we used to just sack off playing football and just have a little private rave in our room until someone came and stopped us.
Tricky Disco
was, if anybody in our form was watching this, lads, it went off. Charged entry for that party. It was basically like just see what we could get away with and see before it would start shake on the ground floor.
Yeah.
Before teacher came and stopped us.
Jumping on tables.
Jumping on each other.
Yeah. Dancing. Probably for like max 15 seconds, because you're always so worried that you're playing it so loud that the class underneath. And mate, sometimes we always had someone on watch, on lookout, and then someone run back in, teachers coming up, rip the aux cord out, everyone takes their seats. Yeah. We were absolute perfection artists, mate.
We were brilliant
at that.
We just used to sit there and go like, what do you mean, sir? It's them.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, mate, there's brilliant times. I mean, those lunchtimes for me, when we sacked off football in those year 10 and 11 years and stayed within our form, were quite telling, because we just all enjoyed being in each other's company so much that we didn't feel the need to go outside and kick a ball about. We've got, 20 minutes, 40 minutes for lunch, something like that. And so we'd go up to our form room, people would be eating their food, and then people would just be mingling, chatting, and it was so good, mate.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I look back on those years and just think, you're going back to what you said earlier about your mum and dad saying those are the best years of your lives. I think in year 10, that drilled home enough to me where I thought, these actually are. We need to make hay now. We got our work done. We did get good grades. We ended up going to uni and progressing like that. But I think just those years were some of the most enjoyable. I'll always look back on it, smile. Met some unbelievable characters. McGinty was one of the best I've ever seen in school in terms of pushing boundaries with teachers and just entertaining the whole class before he left. It was incredible.
Year 11 didn't change much, to be fair, because even though it got a bit more serious, a bit more important, and the work did get more difficult, again, we were with the same people again, and we're all going for a journey together. I mean, we literally grew up from 11-year-olds to 16-year-olds together, 5 days a week, 6 hours a day, 7 hours a day, more when you get in trains and buses with people. So then you're going to parties with them on the weekend. So we literally grew up with the same people, whether to mix in every time. Yeah. And I think that was such a great way to go through school with the same people. How did sixth form change for you? Because I remember vividly having that responsibility of 3 periods now, and you're supposed to obviously do the work and go to the library, research what you've just, or whatever. You're laughing because it never happened. Yeah. But, I mean, I started taking the mick because I'd never experienced that independent, 3 period, you can do what you want. And sometimes if you didn't had a 3 period last period, I mean, you could go home if you wanted to in many cases. Yeah. And sometimes, like, you're just like, because your teachers always sort of said, you don't have to be here. Like, you've continued your education to 6th form. You don't have to. And sort of I took that and I missed a couple of maths lessons in A level, and then sort of was playing catch up, so I let myself down in there.
It's a hard topic as well.
Let myself down and stuff like that. I look back and I kind of like, obviously can't change it, but I wish I did better in that, because I was quite good at maths. But once you miss one lesson, it's so hard playing catch up with them subjects. But it was part of learning, part of dealing with that responsibility of, okay, you're independent now. Are you going to step up to the plate, or are you going to skive off for a bit? I went down, skived off for a little bit with that one particular lesson, only for like 2 or 3 lessons. But yeah, and then obviously girls were introduced in 6th form. The dynamic changed in that respect. There was like competition for girls and stuff like that, and eyeballs, and some people left school as well. Some people went on to different 6th forms. Some people
didn't get let in. You got to remember that as well. Yeah, because there was criteria, wasn't there? Yeah.
So for me, it changed a little bit there. I don't really look at 6th form as like a great time.
It wasn't, because of there's a different, right, so universities where you get pretty much freedom, so you're ultimately paying for an education. So whether you go or not, it's really up to you, as much as they might say otherwise. Yeah. If you could pay the fees and they could kick you out or whatever, but it's your choice. Yeah. As long as you've got the grades. And school's obviously completely compulsory, and I know things have changed right now, but where we were, it's like, 6th form was like that, bridging that gap. Now, the biggest thing for me was how difficult the education got. Yeah. Like, it was a massive step up. It was 4 subjects. It was really focused, and you had to pick 4. Now, maths is a great example, because I don't know what you did, but I got an A in that in GCSE. Thought I'm really good at it.
Same.
And then after 2 weeks, I thought, no way am I doing this. It was so hard. Didn't get it. And then I went on in doing my ASs. I think I got a C, D, and 2 U's. Going from straight A's. Yeah. So you can see how much that,
Did anything else play a factor in that though? Because obviously it's not like you're
start going out during the week.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly so,
that. Yeah. Sorry, Mum.
Yeah. No, but I remember me and you would go on a Wednesday night and we'd have school the next day, and it's just like, how can we ever expect to do well in them lessons on the next day? But you don't think about that.
We slept in the school car park after a night out. and then went straight to lessons. So what did we expect? And then I remember in the second year of sixth form, having to redo everything in one go to get into uni. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as tough. I mean, I can't even comment if it was tough. I can barely remember what was involved now.
Yeah.
But I just know it was a big step up in education, and uni was a bit more focused.
I'm like you. I didn't do too well in my ASs, but then I remember in final year, I really wanted to go to uni, and I just knew that I had to do it.
Yeah.
And so probably year 13 was the year that I just applied myself massively and just knuckled down, mate, and I got the grades and went to uni. And then obviously that was a whole different challenge again.
Yeah.
Because I went from school to then having lessons 12 hours a week, and that was it. And then the rest is your own time, like growing up and living in your own house and stuff like that, new challenges. But we can talk about that another time because we had different experiences of uni as well.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. We'll leave that one off. I mean, today's reminiscing on school times, mate. They were the best years I've probably ever had.
Yeah.
Very different to now, and yeah, just incredible. Yeah.
Good times, mate. Who are the people there?
Yeah.
Don't know if anyone would watch this or even to the end, but
some of the boys have been back in it. So
yeah.
Shout out to all you guys, and obviously anybody at the school we went to, whether we name it or not, I don't know.
And also just our form, mate. C7 to 11. Great people in there, great characters, people that you've lost touch with now, but you just never forget them memories that you had. People that you're still in touch with now as your best pals, and we can reminisce and record it and put it out there. And it was just brilliant times, mate. And ultimately, we did achieve what we wanted to do. We wanted to go to school and then wanted to go to uni. We both went to uni.
We wanted to have a great time doing it. And listen, mate, I would never be thankful enough for the part of you and all of my mates that have come out of school. There's most of them I've met at that age, and we've continued.
Yeah.
Some great characters, and just thank you, lads. And
my brother.
Yeah.
Absolutely huge.
Yeah. So listen, we're gonna round it off at this today.
Yes. Go for it.
Next week we are going to announce our first huge special guest. Really looking forward to that. We're
huge with a capitals of Y.
Yes, we're going to make sure we get it recorded before we announce who it is, so we don't look like Muppets. But can't wait to announce that. If you go over to the YouTube channel, like, share and subscribe, we'd obviously very much appreciate it, as we always say. Win or learn. Jakey, thank you, brother.
My man.